we're talking about cosmetically protecting the home, and we're not talking about the cosmetics you and I wear and use. So tell me what we're dealing with.
All right. So essentially, we do approach it the same way. We put sunscreen on our faces, sunblock, that type of thing. In terms of our property, yes, we want to make them look sexy and trendy and fashionable, but at the same time, we are applying things to their surfaces to help them last through years and years. So very often we either talk paint or plastering, and we often have to make that choice. Do I paint my house or do I kind of trouble it with some plaster and well, hopefully this will help you make that decision. So when you kind of plaster your house, we have in Jamaica they call it trowel on. Here we have trowel text, trowel plastic, different names. That's almost like liquid paint concrete. When you put it on, it is there for a very long time. So if you want something nice and sturdy that can withstand the elements, you may consider that type of technique. However, if you have an even surface, it has to be even, then you can go the direction of paint. And the beauty of paint, if you're like Pearson, who was talking about transforming his house, like if it didn't cost much at all, you might want to change up your colors and so forth every 2 to 3 years. Paint gives you that flexibility.
Okay, well, it's good to know you have that, but there's always still a price point. Now, in terms of putting a protective coating on my house, I mean, you sometimes see people with the houses finished built and they just leave the concrete. Now, does putting some form of plaster or paint on it impact on the value of my home?
Oh, definitely, definitely. There was once a school of thought, I don't know how true, that the land tax value used to remain lower when the house was unpainted, and for that reason, a lot of Bajans used to keep them in their concrete form. I don't know, but think about it. When you slap on a beautiful color, in the eyes of a prospective purchaser, wow, you see potential, you see hope, you see retreat. Color does a lot. So it definitely does add to the value of your property. Interior
Okay.
and exterior lifts it.
Now, when we're talking about colors, should we be looking at the kind of spaces we're working with to determine what kind of color we should have? Should we look at where the house is located? Like, am I close to the sea? Do I get a lot of sun as it rises in the east? Should all of those elements factor in us making that choice?
Now, the beauty of color, you can get color in all types of paint. Now, I'm not a paint specialist. This is where you go down to your hardware store and you have a serious discussion. But I can tell you for a fact, if you are out by the sea, talk to them about which type of paint is hardier for dealing with surfaces where you can have nails rusting and that type of thing, or where the wind is blowing harsher and you don't want it to strip over time. So your paint specialist will definitely guide you on that. Um, One thing I love about the Caribbean and Barbados in particular, we are a colorful people. I
Yeah.
have traveled to some countries where established by the government. One country I remember, I was depressed. They could not paint their properties any other color than off-white. Imagine going to I'm about to cry as I'm talking about this. Imagine going to a country and seeing every building in off-white. Barbados, you don't know what we have with all these colors. So continue to go crazy with it.
Because at least when you have color, you can tell the people, oh, my house is the pink one on the corner with the green trim or whatever. So you know
Yes,
what you're looking for. You know exactly what it is you're looking for. Now, whilst we
correct.
love the vibrancy of color and so on, are there colors that I should avoid altogether in painting a house? Especially if, say, maybe I'm thinking about selling it within, say, a 5 or 6 year period because I'll be relocating or getting married or something of that sort.
All right. So if ever you're thinking sale as front of mind, keep it neutral, even if you have to redo some accent walls and so forth. Keep it neutral because someone has to see themselves in that space and they have to be able to dial up the color or dial down the color in their head. Now, colors you absolutely don't want in your house. As sexy as you think red is, for the love of God, please don't paint the interior in red.
How about the door?
Red reminds, huh? The
How
door,
about the
yes.
door? Because
That's a trend
red doors
nowadays.
are trendy.
Yes, I can cope emotionally with that, Wendy. The door in
Okay.
red is fine. It has a nice pop. But think about it. When you see red, listen to the term itself. You get angry,
It's
vexed,
rage.
upset. Why are you going to have red in your house? Another color, absolutely not to have. Please, please, for the love of God, no brown, especially in the living room. Don't do it. What does brown remind you of? And we have
Well,
our silence, moment of
of
silence.
course we do.
No browns, no browns, please.
Well, it's a
Even though,
color. People like it as a trim though, especially in a veranda type setting. People tend to like to trim their handrails and so on in brown.
yes, that's fine. That's fine. Keep it on the minor scale, but not the takeover scale of an entire living room in brown. You will get people depressed. They will not want to visit you. Don't do it.
Well, what
And
are
this
the
might
other
surprise
colors?
you.
What about black?
Black, that's a no-no unless it's a trim, to be honest with you. Another one that might surprise you, although whites are great in kitchens to help keep it nice and modern and fresh, and people are using them more often in bathrooms, once again, after a while, it will get old in a bathroom. A bathroom is one of the grossest places in a house. It will pick up any sort of, discoloration easily. Do you really want white in the bathroom? Also, since more people are working at home than ever before, people think, let me put a white in a home office. No, 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 siree. Glare, the reflection. It's
Yes.
like being in a loony bin without you realizing you're in there getting depressed because it feels very boxy, very closed in. And, we're dealing with a lot of eye strain nowadays. That will actually add to it, especially if it has a sheen. And a sheen means that it helps reflect the light. So be careful with your whites. Use it
So
sparingly.
therefore, for my office, I should look at a matte color and nothing that's too bright and reflecting too much light.
Correct. And if you use a white, the beauty of white, there's so many different shades. Do not use the most sterile white. Don't do it. Don't do it. Get a
Okay.
white that has like a little almond, a little coral, a little tint of something in it.
All right. Well, Sharita, we want to thank you this morning for talking to us about cosmetically protecting our homes. And you